What's up, y'all? Drillity8 here, and welcome to a very different, video. Some friends of mine suggested that I basically read from the scummiest parts of the internet. Essentially, that being Tumblr, Reddit, 4chan, all that jazz, the deepest bowels of Facebook, as it were. And I figured, why not? I mean, I love reading crazy stuff on sites. I love reading all kinds of stuff on Reddit. In preparation for this, I decided to, let's just see what happens. I posted on askreddit, what are some of the craziest things you've seen people get upset about in D&D, video games, board games, etc., etc. And over 5,000 comments! And yeah, this is easily the most karma I've ever gotten in anything in Reddit, so I almost feel obligated to do this video now. Anyway, let us take a look at some crazy freakout moments and some of our favorite hobbies. My two older brothers, around 13 and 16 then, and I were playing Mario Party. Oldest brother got so mad that our other brother was winning that he screamed, threw the controller, then ran downstairs. He then booted up the PC and our shared WoW account and threatened to delete my brother's max level 60 main. When the younger brother came to stop him, he pulled up scissors and threatened to stab him. No stabbings occurred and no characters ended up being deleted after some calming down, thankfully. And that's the last time we played Mario Party with my oldest brother. Worst of it, he wasn't even in last place. I was, behind the AI. Starting this thing out strong. My friend broke my controller when I tapped him out on the UFC game. We had similar experience with the game and he said that submissions were cheating, then refused me to get the $60 for a new one. Dude, find a new friend. I had a friend who played World of Warcraft with me. She decided she wanted to make some money at the auction house by selling low-level gems that she collected while mining. She checked out the auction house and undersold a few people and got some income rolling. She started getting very nasty messages telling her to stay out of the business, as though WoW auction house economy was some sort of Wall Street thing. She persisted and got death threats via in-game mail, which was pretty stupid because she simply sent it to a GM and suddenly that person wasn't selling on the auction house anymore. I forgot how bloodthirsty some people take Warcraft. Like, I used to play Warcraft. I'm very glad I'm not in it right now. My local game store was running an open game of MERP, Middle-earth Roleplay. We're all running through some pretty traditional scenarios, it being Tolkien and all, giant rats, bats, etc. At low levels especially, things can be dangerous, and the GM is doing a great job of setting the scene for us. Well, one guy is just snarking the entire time about how boring and generic the game is, getting on everyone's nerves at this point. Well, a decent way into the game, he decides to just start attacking the other players in the middle of a fight. We're all reasonably calling him on it. He just keeps attacking until we have no choice but to counter and kill his character. He just gets up, thanks us for letting him out, tells us to enjoy our stock fantasy garbage, and leaves the store. What a douche. You know, you could have just left. When 5th edition came out, I was still pretty experienced at D&D, but whatever. We had a gathering to play one-off tutorial campaign with pre-made characters. I decided to be the healer, who also had some damage spells. Anyways, in the first encounter, I used a 3x3 cube attack on an area to kill the 4 remaining monsters, forgetting that the spell would also hit my allies in the area, 2 of them. One saved, but the other one didn't, but both lived. Me. Crap, I'm sorry, I forgot. Oh well, I can heal you. Angry dude, out of character. No, you're a piece of... No. Me. I'm sorry, it was an accident. Angry dude, heal me, you... Really? Me. I'll heal you when you calm down. It's just a game. Angry dude, I'm attacking him. He attacks. He hits. Heal me now. Me. Well, I'm definitely not healing you now. Angry dude. I attack him again. He crits. I'm at 0 HP. Me, looking at the other players. You guys are just gonna let him kill the healer? The party tries to stop him, but rolls horribly, so he delivers the killing blow. Me, alrighty then. I leave to my room. Got to play 5th edition for about 10 minutes. Boy! Okay, now as someone who plays a decent amount of D&D, I cannot imagine being so upset that a new character dealt a little damage to you, then was willing to make up for it. Like, I've had moments where I've had to, like, position things specifically so I wouldn't hit other people. But I've had other people where they're trying to cast a spell, and I was like, I've got the hit points, I can take it. Or someone just forgets. People forget. It's perfectly fine, and it's just a game. Come on. You don't have to be that way. Man, that grinds my gears. I once had someone knock all the pieces off the table and toss the Monopoly board off the table because someone took all the small houses and just stockpiled them without upgrading to hotels, so we would run out and no one could upgrade their own property. Is it really that big of a deal, though? I mean, you could just use, like, pieces of paper or pennies or... or pennies or something like that. I mean, it's not that big a deal. If you run out of houses, just keep track of stuff. But that person is totally being an absolute jerk. I used to play Pokemon TCG competitively. When I first started playing, I was at my first regional tournament. This player, he was about 14 or 15, I must have been about 10 or 11, was shouting in tears over the fact that he thought, in his opinion, that his opponent had cheated. He was going crazy, screaming and crying and saying that his player should be dequalified, etc. Turns out what had happened was at a clutch point in the game, his opponent was shuffling his own hand around, basically flicking cards in between themselves. It's a great way to funnel your nerves and a nice repetitive motion to channel energy into. And the player felt that he was deliberately doing that to distract him. As a result of being distracted, the player made a game-costing misplay. Really? Okay, I don't know how everybody else does it, but if you've got some cards in your hand and you're just like, or maybe just something like that, if the sound of, let me get to the mic, the sound of cardboard is distracting you so much that you utterly misplay, you should probably find another hobby. I gamed with a guy for years, and anytime things didn't go his way in a tabletop RPG, he'd throw a tantrum. Picture a middle-aged man who would scream, throw dice, and sometimes stomp away for things like, he rolled poorly, he forgot his character had an ability that would have been useful in the previous round of combat, someone tried to be helpful and remind him of one of his character abilities he forgot about, people tried to split treasure equally rather than just giving him everything that he wanted. Here's the thing. 2 weeks ago, I encountered this guy for only the second time in a year. During the course of our meeting, a hit-and-run driver crashed into his parked car, doing a fair amount of damage to it. Guy was totally chill about this, and didn't even want to call the police, despite witness saying that the driver was drunk. Maybe he got therapy in that time? D&D. DM's girlfriend couldn't burn a town to the ground when a commoner slammed the door in her character's face. The rest of the party countered all of her attempts to burn the mofo down, and she was used to getting whatever she wanted and being the center of attention. But when she whined to her DM boyfriend that we weren't letting her have her way, he just shrugged. Burning the town down for petty spite would have derailed the campaign, and we stopped the fire using the rules appropriately. She then moved on to covertly attempt to assassinate players who had worked against her, which also didn't work. That group didn't last long, but we did have a lot of fun constantly trying to shut the DM's girlfriend down. Okay, one of my ex-friends told me he wished my suicide attempt was successful after his character got killed off in D&D and I failed to resurrect him, as an ice mage, with no healing spells whatsoever. Boy! I love this hobby. I really love this hobby. But some people take this garbage way too seriously. I used to play Risk with a bunch of friends. I was the only female. One guy hated it when I won a few times to the point where he declared that no woman should take over the world, and he spent every game going forward taking me out even when it meant a loss for him as well. Don't be sexist, please. I had a player's girlfriend who had quit the game get really upset that the other players weren't doing it right. We were having fun, the DM hadn't said anything, and we weren't having difficulty requiring bailout, we were just RPing in a way she didn't approve of. My team mom paladin, who worshipped her goddess through cooking food, connected to her backstory and DM approved, for example, should just focus on smiting things instead of comforting other characters after trauma by making them soup. Guess what, Kimmy? I got bonus XP for that soup RP. And that's what I'm talking about! I mean, I love story. I am an avid advocate of story. I love RP. I love taking things and then making them more with little touches. A Team Mom Cook Paladin? That is brilliant! Why would you hate that? That is like wholesome love, and you want to ruin it with your bitterness in your heart. My friend and I used to play Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube after classes at university occasionally. If we ever played the Metal Harbor stage and he wasn't the first one to light dash across the first trail of rings, he'd reset the race. Every time. Well, it's, not your friend's fault that he's too slow. Spoons. My grandma is the sweetest thing in this world. She's Mormon, will never hurt anybody, and always sees the good in everyone. But crap, she's the most savage person alive when she plays spoons. We were each grabbing for a spoon and we both grabbed the spoon at the same time and she just dug her nails into my hand till I let go. She then looked at me with an innocent smile and said, "Sorry, honey." Grandma's a thug! My wife and I had a poker tourney at our place with about 15 people. After 4 hours, only my wife and I were left standing. I had a lot more chips than her. All the guests left for the night. I started to clean up, but she begins demanding that we finish. I try to explain that it's our money so it doesn't matter, but she won't have it and is visibly upset. I immediately went all in the next two hands and basically handed her the money so I could go to bed. We divorced a few years later. I have nothing to say, that's just weird. So my friend was DMing a campaign and I was a consistent player. My character had a minor crush, stupid teenage love, with a character whose best definition was morally gray. Another person who didn't like me in real life would guest star as an edgelord fighter with 2 katanas. He made it his mission to kill my character's crush. At one point there was a large brawl and my character witnessed him strike my crush. I cast Thunder Wave with a low DC, but he somehow managed to fail and fell off the roof of the house. He wound up going unconscious from the spell and took falling damage, which led to him failing his first save. When he rolled for the second, he got a natural 1 and critically failed, which counts as 2 fails. 3 failed saves and you're dead. And you're out! He starts this loud, unintelligible screeching, saying I had no reason to do that, I had it out for him, everything was my fault, he spent hours on that character, he was a huge plot point ad infinitum. My friend and DM asked me about my motivation for striking an ally, and I explained that my character had feelings for his childhood friend and trusted her more than the ally of a group of mercenaries that he didn't trust in the first place. Seeing him strike his friend would be ample reason to attack. Also, my character wouldn't have any idea how close he was to death without metagaming, something my friend was a stickler about. In the end, his character stayed dead, and my character had to work out a deal to earn trust back of the mercenaries. He wasn't invited back to play. Good on you, mate. I don't understand when people, of all the flavors in the rainbow, you decided to go with bitter. You decided to go with edgelord. Like, I don't understand. This is a game where you could be literally anything you want, and you chose to be a bigger jerk than you are in real life? And then you're a child about it whenever karma happens. Be kind to one another and be kind to yourself, kids. Once had a player get mad enough at me to leave a game because I was making things up. I was the DM. Literally, my only job is to make things up. Mind you, this wasn't me making up rules or being tricky. Legit, dude got ragey because I said a wall had been constructed of magical brick that could reconstruct itself when damaged. That's like the most benign I'm a bit hazy on the details, but I'll give it a go. I had a friend back in middle school who got into a heated Minecraft argument with his friend. Due to this, his friend burned up his statue of SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquareNuts? In retaliation. As a result of that, my friend completely severed ties with this dude. My friend unfriended him on Xbox, and as retaliation, his friend came over to his house and unfriended everyone in his account. He didn't talk to him until one day we invited him to our Discord years later after we were all out of high school for a Civ game. At that point, my friend forgot why he stopped talking to him. I can't really fault him for burning up that statue. Had a guy who just entered our game tried to kill multiple characters when they were asleep or in downtime. His rationale was, "I'm an assassin. I kill people for fun and this mucking around town is boring." Actually managed to successfully poison our wizard to death, low HP, and sorry not sorry apologized while giggling. "Sorry man, I didn't think your guy was that weak." Our warrior straight up killed his character when he found out what had happened. The guy had openly announced to the barkeeper that only he would deliver the drinks to his friend, the mage, Smooth. The guy overreacted, throwing a fit about our warrior player overreacting and just killing his character in an alley. Guy declared that we were ganging up on him and left, presumably to cry or blog about it. Our warrior nailed the guy's character's corpse to his tower shield and never removed it, even reattaching it to new ones as he upgraded. We named it the Bro Board. Oh my gosh, that's golden! And that is all the crazy I think I can handle for right now. This is pretty fun. If you want me to do more stuff in the future, if you have any other suggestions as far as other Reddits to look at or something on Tumblr to deep dive, let me know. I might take a look at it. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and call this a day because I am really glad that I am not any of these crazy people. Later.